Today on Monkey Life, Alison makes an early start on a mission to rescue a pet trade marmoset kept in a hamster cage.
An individual has been seized from a premises with very ropey circumstances.
And will he or won't he? Chimp Kangoo takes his time deciding whether to venture into the outdoor enclosure for the first time.
Kangoo man!
Plus, a prickly challenge for the spider monkeys. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Hi! Look at that. Oh, he's fantastic.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. It's early morning at the park, and once again, Alison's responding to an emergency call-out to collect a marmoset victim of the British pet trade.
Got an emergency phone call from RSPCA yesterday that an individual has been seized from a premises with very ropey circumstances, let's put it that way, that I've sort of not seen ridiculous caging situation that I have in this instance before. So we'll see what we can do. The marmoset has been taken from the household where it was found into a veterinary clinic in Essex. So we're off to the vet clinic to pick up this individual, assess what I believe is a male marmoset, but you never know, and get him back here to the park.
It's a 160-mile journey to the marmoset's temporary home at the vet's practice in Romford, Essex. The park is usually full to the brim with rescued marmosets, but 2 elderly males recently passed away, freeing up space, and leaving 2 females in need of companionship. As Alison heads to Essex, the park's marmoset team are preparing for the new arrival, but they're a bit in the dark about what to expect.
So we've been told that it is a lone male, a young juvenile. We know, based off of pictures, he was kept in a really, really small hamster cage, so we know his movement ability was limited, so therefore could have a detrimental effect to his physical ability. And other than that, we're not too sure on any of the details. It's going to be a case of what we see is what we get.
With so little known about the marmoset, the primate care staff are covering all bases.
As you can see, we have padded the floor in with loads of blankets. This is just in case he, has a go at maybe having a climb and he doesn't have the physical ability. If he does fall, there is a soft cushion in there to try and help him. We've also made sure that there's a lot of branching around. And yeah, so we're just trying to make it as secure as possible to give him the easiest start.
With preparations well underway in Dorset, Alison arrives in Romford, hoping for a straightforward pickup. The marmoset was confiscated from its owner because the RSPCA were concerned about its welfare. They've asked Alison to assess the small primate's condition and take over its care for now. The young male has been at the vet's for 2 nights and is still in a small hamster cage.
Diet isn't great, environment is awful, and he's been bounced from pillar to post. I believe the previous owner tried to claim that she had had him maybe for 8 years, but he looks like a young adult to me. So probably more like 2 or 3 years old, but hard to say. So he needs sorting out. Here you go. Is that better? Is that more tasty? A little bit. Look, little man. Do you even know what that is? You don't, do you? Look. Look.
The vet practice has very little information about the marmoset. And with a long return journey ahead, Alison is keen to transfer the small primate into a travel box as quickly as possible.
I believe I've got a monkey in the box.
Ah, sorry.
Nice job, and we'll just get him back to the park. We already have a female waiting for a companion. Her elderly partner passed away a couple of months ago, so we'll probably get him straight in with her or alongside of her straight away, and then have him down for a health check in the coming days, but after he's calmed down.
It's been a quick turnaround. The male marmoset is safe in the travel box, and Alison can set off back to the park so he can start his new life and hopefully find a companion. It's taken a few months, but Argentine chimps Sasha and Kangoo are finally starting to feel at home in their new groups. It's the result of a tough but necessary decision to separate mother and son.
I get no inkling that she misses Kangoo or she's not gone to that slide. She doesn't call, even though they could hear each other, they don't call back to one another. And like when he's been in an intro and perhaps, if not, he's maybe been a bit mean to him and he's done a bit of a shout, there's zero reaction from her. So yeah, I think she's quite happy being over here really. And I think she's, you know, I think if they saw each other again, they'd be happy to see each other, but it's not really been as heartbreaking as I thought it'd be splitting them up.
While Sasha is slowly being introduced to her new housemates in Bart's troop, Kangoo has now met all 5 of his in Brian's group. And today, he's taking his next big step into the outdoor enclosure.
Quite a big day, really. It's taken us a while to get to this point with him. We wanted to build up his relationships with the group a bit, but also he's quite awkward and gangly and not the strongest climber in the world, so we've wanted to wait for like a nice dry day where we're not too worried about him slipping on the climbing frame, because yeah, climbing's not a natural skill to him, which is very odd for a chimp.
It looks like the perfect day for Kangoo's big adventure. But things are rarely straightforward with chimps. The plan is for Kangoo to go outside accompanied by just 2 housemates to begin with. Lulu is already in the enclosure keeping to her routine, which makes her happy.
You monster.
Leader Brian will be the other friendly face. In recent months, Kangoo has formed a close bond with the big leader, and Sean is hoping he'll show Kangoo the ropes. Brian races out on the hunt for the food scattered around the enclosure. But there's no sign of Kangoo. He's nervous and not sure what's waiting for him on the outside. Even when Brian goes back in to encourage him, it makes no difference. Kangoo isn't budging.
Yeah, we'll get there. You just might be waiting for a little bit.
Eventually, the team call it a day and let the rest of the group out. They'll try again tomorrow. Day 2, and the team have come up with a different tactic. They've kept Kangoo in the playroom where he has direct access to the outside tunnel, and from where he can see Brian and Lulu being let out. He's an interested spectator, watching as his 2 housemates enjoy themselves in the sun. But he's still wary, perhaps because of the staff, and the curious neighbours wondering what all the fuss is about.
Kangoo man!
Once again, Brian tries to encourage Kangoo out.
Get him playing, don't get him out. You know how playful he is.
Once again, he stays put.
At least showing interest today, whereas yesterday he was just very scared little boy.
The team call it a day, leaving Kangoo enjoying the sunshine from the other side of the glass. Day 3. 3rd time lucky, perhaps? Same place, same routine. With Lulu and Brian out first, and the primate care staff still hoping Kangoo will pluck up the courage and follow them outside. This time, the team step away from the fence, giving Kangoo plenty of space. Result. The chimp takes his first steps into the enclosure. He's still a bit wary and cautiously takes it all in before heading off to explore.
Third time was the charm, although it had to wait till literally all of us have walked away, and then he just ran outside, so yeah, which was quite nice. You can see he's a bit wobbly. He's not the best climber in the world, and he didn't go right to the very top. He's kind of gone up about halfway and then come back down nice and calmly. So yeah, he's exploring a bit, although he's yet to go right down to the far end of the enclosure, but he'll get there. It's all a lot for him.
Kangoo is becoming more and more confident, popping back into the house and coming out again. The team's perseverance has paid off. Hopefully, it's the start of a long and happy life at Monkey World for Kangoo. Earlier in the year, the Woolly Monkey team had a bit of a move around when Enzo and Levar's troops swapped homes. The park are world leaders caring for this rare and special species. In order to maintain a healthy gene pool and keep everyone fit and happy, the Woolly Monkey team constantly assess and adjust their groups. Today, 2 of the adult males are going to move.
We've decided to swap Enzo out of his group for Manny and Carlos out of the bachelors, simply because we do need these rotations quite frequently with the breeding groups. Enya's becoming a more mature adolescent female, so it's either her or Enzo basically that needs to come out within the next year. We feel like Carlos and Manny, they're quite a good duo, and I think those boys going over and taking over that group is a better solution than removing Enya at this point. So yeah, we think overall this should be really positive for most of the individuals.
To kick off the move, Enzo will swap with Carlos, who's currently living with the bachelor group. His good friend Manny will join him in a few days' time, once Carlos is settled. Sharon is hoping for a smooth transition.
We feel quite optimistic. The boys have done this before, so yeah, we feel like it should go quite smoothly, but yeah, we always feel a little bit of anticipation before moving animals.
First, they need to get the 2 boys into 2 separate travel crates.
You just about to let him out? OK, just give me a shout when he's in.
First up, Carlos at the bachelor house.
Hello, Lydia, we've got Carlos in the crate, so if you want to go ahead and crate Enzo.
OK, I'll start now.
Thanks to the daily training the team carry out with the Woolies, Carlos goes straight into his crate.
Oh, she said I can still eat a grape. It's not that bad, is it?
Carlos is quickly transported to his new home at the Top Woolly house. He'll be put in one of the bedrooms, ready for introductions to the rest of the group.
We're going to be going into the forest. We're going to bring Enzo around here first. Okay. He can stay put for now.
Okay.
And once we're just going to put Enzo here, we'll just transfer him into that room, and then we can move Enzo.
Carlos waits patiently while the team deal with Enzo. He's also in his travel crate, but needs to be moved across and unloaded at his new home.
Good boy, Enzo.
So far, everything's going smoothly and to plan.
Good boy.
So we're just going to now transfer Carlos from the crate into one of the bedrooms in the house, and then we're going to move Enzo over to the bachelor Woolly house.
Carlos is now moved to the outside slide connecting the bedrooms. He's lived in this house before and is familiar with the layout.
This isn't a vet day, is it? It's all right, it's all cool. Oh.
Isla, who's been kept apart from the others, is waiting for him. It means he has company and a controlled, stress-free introduction. It seems to be working.
One down. Oh, I can hear a lot of chatting with him and his new housemate, so yeah, that's good.
Enzo is also being provided with company in his new home at the Bachelor Woolies. It's Claude, a woolly he's met before. When they last lived together, Claude was still quite small. Now he's a large sub-adult male with plenty of brawn, but lacking in maturity. The bedrooms are large enough to give them both space, and the meet-up has gone well. Both Enzo and Carlos will be gradually introduced to all the members of their new groups over the coming days. With 25 different species at the park, the primate care staff are always on the lookout for something a bit different to enrich the lives of the animals. Today, the 3 spider monkeys are about to get a thorny treat. Hanging baskets are being filled with fresh-cut gorse, complete with flowers.
Life is more interesting when new things appear. If we do the same thing with them all the time, they will get bored, and it's nice to keep them on their toes a little bit. So having new things, even if they're not particularly keen on them, gives them something else to think about, adds an extra dimension to their life, and gives them something to sort of puzzle over, really.
To encourage natural foraging, the baskets are being suspended all around the enclosure. But the gorse will present the spider monkeys with a prickly challenge.
Gorse, as we all know, is very spiky. I've got my gardening gloves on. The spider monkeys don't have that luxury. So if they want the flowers, they're going to have to be very careful, and they're going to have to sort of work out the best approach to getting the nice tasty flowers from the spiky bits.
The 3 spider monkeys, Hickory, Flint and Pumpkin, are raring to go as Rachel opens up the slide to let them into the enclosure. Pumpkin, as always, leads the way. She's very food-orientated, as is Flint, and the pair immediately check out today's offering. Hickory's a bit more circumspect when it comes to trying new things, often just picking up leftover scraps. Today, it's the camera that's captured his interest. It's important for all the primates at the park to have fresh foliage. In the wild, they're surrounded by a wide variety of plants. The enrichment at the park mimics the behaviour of discovering new things in the wild, even if the foliage isn't found in their natural rainforest home. Pumpkin has discovered a taste for the fresh flowers. She thinks she has a clever plan to avoid the large spikes, picking them off gently with her lips rather than using her hands. Maybe not quite so clever. She ends up pricking her chin.
The spider monkeys haven't got great dexterity. They're lacking a nice thumb they can use to pick the flowers off the gorse. They're also not always as quick on the uptake as some of the other individuals in the park, but these guys are actually quite bright. They will get to the bottom of something when they have enough time and the patience to do so. It's patience that's sometimes lacking in Flint, motivation in Hickory, and there's not much lacking in Pumpkin at all, really. It's just the spikes that are putting her off.
But the prickles haven't put them off entirely, and plenty of the gorse flowers have been eaten. It's something the team may well try again in the future. After an early start, Alison has arrived back at the park in Dorset with a male marmoset, confiscated by the RSPCA on welfare grounds. The primate care staff are ready and waiting.
I'm happy with you to work with him. We're probably going to have to get the vet in to have him checked.
Yeah.
So the question is whether or not we do that straight off the bat tomorrow.
Alison has discovered the marmoset has a name, Moschino. He's in desperate need of space to move around, a good diet and a companion. The Small Monkeys team can provide the whole package. With more than 30 marmosets already in their care, they're experts at rehabilitating these small primates, who often arrive from inappropriate conditions and with medical issues. A bedroom has already been prepared for Moschino with lots of branching to move around on and live insects to tuck into.
Well, let's, get him inside and settle, because I can feel him bouncing around a bit, which he wasn't doing before.
Elle is pleased Moschino is a male.
Yeah, so the fact it is a male is actually quite beneficial to us. We've got a few single marmosets at the minute which just happen to be female. We're also quite aware that the pairings that we have, we've got kind of younger females with elderly males. So we've been told he's more than likely a male marmoset, so it will be helpful if he is to try and pair him up with one of our single females.
But before he's partnered up with a female, the team need to arrange birth control, most likely a vasectomy for Moschino. There isn't any space for unplanned new arrivals. But first, he needs to get settled in his new home.
You ready?
Elle opens up the travel box and a nervous Moschino heads up high to a corner of the bedroom. The space appears overwhelming for the small marmoset. Even the enticement of waxworms doesn't bring him down.
Look, here you go. Come on then.
The primate care team will spend the next few days building a bond with the newly arrived marmoset.
With every primate, you obviously have that bond between keeper and animal. The bond is quite crucial. It's important for getting into medications into them, for getting health checks. So we're going to work really hard to try and get that bond with him so he just feels a little bit more comfortable. It'll make it easier to assess him in the long run. He's kind of, I think, just a bit shell-shocked. He's in a new environment. Sounds like he's come from a pretty poor one. So yeah, it's to be expected, but hopefully he'll settle down and start to feel more comfortable soon.
For now, he has a good supply of soft blankets to snuggle in, plenty of food to help him through his first night, and a dedicated care team. Next time on Monkey Life. An emergency operation for woolly monkey Paquita means more babies are out of the question.
I was going to say, I think a hysterectomy is probably our only choice, looking at that.
And a double blow for the chimp team, with the loss of Sammy, one of the park's original chimps, and the sudden unexpected passing of young adult Topperish.